Let us explain these three qualities in terms of our everyday life. Water is an adhesive. We all have some good thoughts. We have some good things that we're doing. Very often we do not achieve integrity. Or we have good intentions. It's like the flower. It's there, it's fine, but it's dry and not connected. If we have a thought, and we want that thought to be integrated with our feelings, and we want those feelings to be integrated with our actions, that's when we do that, we've added water. We've created a unified whole in our life from the disparate good elements, which may be very good. They must be good, otherwise we said it must be something which is worthy of man. And yet that is not enough. It has to have water. So first of all, create integrity within our lives. That's the first quality of water. The second quality, conveying. We should try to do things in a way that also bring benefit to other people and are an inspiration to others as well. Actually, in a way, this is almost automatic, because what is water? Water is moisture. When we do things that are dry, others are not inspired. When we do things with enthusiasm, others are automatically inspired, even if we're not attempting to inspire them. So that is the second point. And the third quality, that water flows from the high place to the low place, means that each one in our lives, we should not have this high place, which is the kind of the sanctuary for our spiritual selves, but then walk out of that and just lead our lives. We should be trying to create this connectedness, this disconnect between the high and the low at all times. And now we're going to come to a third condition that is in these laws, which applies specifically to foods which grow from the ground, fruits and vegetables. Fascinating idea. The law states that these foodstuffs that are vegetables or are fruits can only become ritually impure when they are uprooted from the ground. Maimonides sums it up. He says, if it's connected even by one small root to its source of nourishment, to its source of life, to the ground, it cannot become ritually impure. And hence, let us come back to ourselves. The source of our life, of our connection, this eternal connection, is the soul. In Yiddish we say, das Pintele Yid, the inner point that attaches us as Jews, specifically as part of the people of Israel, to our covenant and to God. It's a impure, indestructible little black box that we're sometimes not even unaware of. But that is our life. And although we have this challenge that if we try to become influential, if we try to bring the water into our lives, we are taught that is precisely when the potential for corruption arises. That is when the forces of negativity rush in, because otherwise they're not interested. And so this is this dilemma. So what is the antidote to this? What is the deterrent? That on the one hand we can bring in the water and add it to the flour, so to speak. We can create integrity within our lives, and in a way that will be inspiring to others. And yet here the fear arises that that is when the conditions for potential contamination arise. So here we are told, being connected by even one root. And this goes in two directions. The first direction is that whatever we're doing, especially in terms of our Jewishness, it shouldn't be a disparate element. It should be connected in order for it not to become contaminated. It should be connected to the root, to the soul. We have to make that connection to the soul. It has to be a soul connection. Now, we will soon have Yom HaAtzmaut. Perfect example, the anniversary of the founding of the State of Israel, 70th anniversary. 70 is a pretty long time. That's the existence of the state. If we look at it purely in a political respect, though, it's not very, very old. And if we look at purely in that context, we are not connecting this land of Israel to the source of spiritual life. In order to truly appreciate it, this is an example, and I'm not trying to politicize the conversation, but it's very important, it's relevant now. We look why the Torah looks at it, the land of Israel, Eretz Israel, going back thousands of years, a Jewish homeland, which is to be a sanctified homeland, not just another manifestation of the desire for self-determination. So what we've done is now we've connected our attachment to Israel not only to a political contingency or even a national contingency, but we connected it to a spiritual source which is eternal and powerful. Okay, this is an example. So on the one hand, whatever it is, kasher, studying Torah, we have to keep in mind, don't just do it because it's a tradition. Remember that you're doing this to manifest the connection of your soul to God and of your body to your soul. Now it works the other way around. Some people are absolutely convinced that they have this pintaliyah, that they have this point of strong Jewish spiritual identification. But they're happy with that. They don't connect it to the deeds, other things they're doing in life. So that it has to go in both directions, where we have to see to it that that we do hook up this soul source to things we are doing every day, and that means the fulfillment of God's commandments. And when we do that, it is no longer susceptible to becoming impure, because as long as it's connected to the source, that's now going to happen. A beautiful example, we know with most prayers we say it has Hashem's name in it, Baruch Atah Hashem, Elokeinu, our God, the Lord, and so on. We have to be careful to be clean. We need to wash our hands first. There's one prayer we say first thing in the morning, Modeh ani lefanecha, Melech chai v'kayam, shechazarta, bi nishmati b'kibi, rabba emunatecha. Shechazarta li nishmati, rabba emunatecha. I'm grateful to you, Lord, and I'm grateful to you, Eternal King, living and eternal King, and that you return my soul within me. Great is your trustworthiness. The great loving is your trustworthiness. Here we don't need to wash our hands. We can say it first thing in the morning. Why not? The halachic reason is because it does not contain any names of God. But the deep reason is, the Hasidus explains a beautiful thing. There's a certain part of it that's called the Modeh Ani of the Jew. Precisely because it's so deep, it's above any names of God. And because it's so deep, it also is invulnerable to any kind of impurity. And so there's this Modeh Ani which is there. We say it every day. In this way we can awaken it. And we can try to connect the essence of our soul to things we're doing throughout the day, nourishing that by fulfilling God's commandments. Taking the good things we're already doing and trying to connect it back and remember that we're doing it because we're trying to fuse our body and our soul and both of those to God through the fulfillments of God's commandments. And that is the meaning of water and impurity and plants in our everyday life. Shabbat Shalom.